Welcome to Yoga Stretch. My name is Katie. Today we're going to talk about aligning our bones. Now it's very important to work with our body and our skeleton to make sure that we stack our bones carefully as we move in our yoga postures to ensure that we stay injury free and also we can carry out our yoga practice for a very long time. Now the skeleton is a very important part of our body. There are 206 bones. And these bones are divided into two skeletons, the axial skeleton, which is the skull, and the spine with 33 bones, and then the rib cage, 12 sets of ribs. And then there's our appendicular skeleton, and that's our shoulder girdle, our arms, our hips, and our legs. So it's very important to align your bones as much as you can throughout your yoga practice and your daily life. So the bones are very important for support. They also provide protection for our vital organs. They store calcium and iron, and they also control our endocrine system, which means it controls our blood sugar levels. So a lot of important functions are done by our skeleton. So we're going to focus on bending, backward bending, and twists particularly today when I talk about the spine. But just for a little example of bone stacking, let's take a lie down. And what I want you to do is, first of all, make sure your shoulder blades are flat. So let's press the elbows down, just your little robot arms, hands in fists, pointing to the ceiling. Press the elbows down, lift the shoulder blades up, hug them together, and place the back down carefully. And let's lower our arms down to our sides for the moment. Lift the head up, tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. So now our shoulder blade should be sitting quite flat on the floor. And we're going to lift just one arm up, and I want you to make sure that shoulder blade stays nice and flat on the floor, and then just relax your wrist. Now, if your bones are stacked up nicely, this will take very little muscle energy to hold your arm up. So it'll be comfortable and you'll be able to hold it up for quite some time. So this is the art of bone stacking, where we're using minimal energy and our bones are doing work. All right, let's float that hand down and just pause a moment to focus on our breathing now. So breathing into the belly, you might like to place one hand on your heart center, one hand on your belly, so you can monitor the breath. Feel your belly rise with the breath in. Okay, let's take the arms over the head, take a big stretch, point the toes towards the floor, reach the arms over the head and just stretch the fingers and toes to the opposite ends of the room. Big breath into the rib cage and breathe out, hands back to sides and walk your feet to the end position. So let's bring our feet as wide as our mat and bring our arms in a T position, just palms up. Make sure our knees are in line with your ankles, and let's drop the knees from side to side, lifting up into our hips. Just a nice gentle movement. Let's do one or two more of those movements. And then walk the feet nice and close to the hips, one at a time, bring them to your chest. And then link your fingers, palms on the knees, and let the weight of the hands bring the knees to your chest. If you can, give them a little push down to the chest and lift your hips up, and that will lengthen your lower spine. And let's place it back down again. Take the hands behind the knees, chin to chest, and rock yourself up to a seated position. So I'll turn and face forward. Now let's just pull our tummy in a little, 10%, lift the chest up, and you can feel your spine lengthen as you lift up tall. Let's create some space between the vertebrae and lift the shoulders to ears, roll them back and draw them downwards quite comfortably. So your chin should be parallel to the floor. And we've stacked up our spine nicely. The spine does have natural curvature in it, so it won't be absolutely straight. But if you lift up the spine, you're going to make yourself feel much more comfortable. Takes a little bit of practice if your muscles are not used to holding you up. So let's take our hands by our sides and take a deep breath in. Breathe in, reach up and breathe out. Float those hands down. And again, breathe in. Nice big breath, palms touch and breathe out, hands float down. Let's do that again. Breathe in, open up the ribs. Enjoy the breath in and breathe out. Okay, breathe in. We're going to link those fingers, palms up to ceiling. Big stretch and pull the tummy in. Navel to spine, rotate your palms towards your chest. Chin drops down to chest, round your back out. And let's do that again. Breathe in, reach up, lengthening through the spine, palms up to ceiling. Breathe out, pull the tummy in, stretch into the back, palms face you. And then let's do that one more time. Breathe in, reaching up. Palms to ceiling, breathe out, round the back, palms forward, and let's float those hands down. Lifting ourselves up again. Now we're going to do some side bending. So just place your right fingers down on the floor and we're going to take the left hand down, breathe in, lift the arm up to over the ceiling. Now I want you to check your shoulders here, draw the shoulder down and then start to bend through the side. Keep both hips on the floor, keep your knees even. So if you lose that evenness of the knees and hips, just stop where you are. Okay, chin slightly tucked in. Let's find the lengthening in the back of the neck. Take 3 breaths into the side of the body. Lifting up, breathe in. Let's try that on the other side. Breathe out, hand down. Breathe in, reaching the arm up. Now draw the shoulder down and breathe out. Let's bend to the side. We're not going to make it too big first time round. So 3 big breaths into the side of the body. Now lifting up. Let's lower the right hand down, just lowering the fingers to the floor. Lift the left hand up. Now drop the shoulder down as you reach up and breathe out, bend to the side. Now you can rotate your palm forward if you want to, a little bend in the elbow. If you want to go a little bit deeper this time, you can go down to your elbow, but remember you need to keep your hips and your knees quite even. 3 big breaths into the ribs. And let's lift up, breathe in, breathe out, lower the fingers down to the floor on the left side, take the right hand up, lower the shoulder down, and then breathe out, bend to the side. This time you can rotate your palm forward, bend your elbow. If you want to go a little deeper, go down to the elbow, but just feel quite comfortable here. It's quite a strong stretch, so let's take 3 breaths into the side of our body that's open. Let's expand those ribs outwards. And then breathing in, lifting up. Now we're going to do cat-cow pose in a seated position. So draw your shoulders back, lift the chest up, just lower your head back a little. So we've got a little chin lift, we're not dropping our head right back. We're just lowering the back, keeping some space between the vertebrae in the back of the neck. Breathe out, pull the navel in, round the back out, chin to chest. Breathe in, open up that chest, hug the shoulder blades together. And breathe out, draw the navel in. Let's do that one more time. Open up that chest, big breath in. And breathe out, draw the navel in. That's it, beautiful. And lifting up nice and tall again. Change the cross of your legs so we can work the hips a little bit differently. We're going to draw hip circles now, so let's breathe in and breathe out, bending forwards. Breathe in. So 1 breath per circle. Check into the hips, make sure they're quite comfortable, that this is an easy movement. If you find any tightness there or discomfort, just work gently. So while you're doing this, you should find yourself getting into a nice rhythm. Let's change direction now, go the other way. And finishing off your last one. Beautiful. Now we're going to roll forward onto our knees. Or you can just go sideways with me and come into a cat position. Now slide the shoulders towards the hips, pull the tummy up. Okay, we've got our cat-cow pose. So breathe in, cat arch, draw the navel up nice and high, lengthen through the arms. Now here's some bone stacking in our arms, aligning the bones, keep it nice and strong, tummy lifted, chin to chest, and breathe out, cow pose. Tuck toes under, slide shoulders to hips. Let's gaze forward. Breathe in, cat arch. Big stretch, breathe out, cow pose, and drop your rib cage down and slide your shoulders towards your hips. Let's do that again 3 more times. Just work at the pace of your breath. Try not to go too slow or too fast. Just a nice even pace. And one more time, nice big arch. Just line the shoulders up with the wrists. You can rock forward and backwards a little to find that point where you're stacking your bones, and breathe out, cow pose. Now we're going to do a series of cat arch and down dog. So here we are in our cow pose. Let's do cat arch, pull the tummy up, big stretch, tuck your toes under, breathe out, down dog. Breathe in, rise up on balls of feet, come down to the knees and look forward, slide shoulders to hips, cow pose. Breathe in, cat arch, big stretch in the back, and then tuck toes under, lift the hips up, down dog, chest towards thighs. Rise up on the balls of the feet, come down to knees, cow pose. Breathe out, cat arch, or breathe in, cat arch. Breathe out, down dog, and then back to cow pose. Cat arch, breathe out, and down dog. All right, let's stay in the down dog, and we're going to just pedal our heels up and down. Let's stretch into the ankles and the calves. And then lower the heels down towards the floor. Find the stretch in the ankles and calves. Now if your heels don't reach the floor, don't worry, it's not a big problem. Try not to walk your feet towards your hands and make it a very small dog. Try to make it a medium-sized dog, and when you lower your heels down, you've got that extra stretch in the ankles and calves. Now slide your shoulders towards your hips and bring your chest towards your thighs. Take 3 big breaths into your rib cage. Now move your head forward and backward in a yes movement, and then side to side in a no movement. Now let's take a walk with our feet towards our hands and just place the heels under hips. Soft knees, so the legs should be quite nicely stacked, the bones in the legs. So again, our body alignment, aligning our bones, stacking them up beautifully, and then release your hands, and let's hold the elbows and just move the torso from side to side with the arms. Now this is stretching one side of the back and then the other side. Make sure the weight is forward in your feet, so you're not pressing heavily through the heels, and you're not straightening your legs and locking the knees. So you always want to keep a little softness in the knees. All right, lower your hands down. Now we're going to take the hands outside the left leg and then take the left hand on the hip. Now pull the tummy in, navel to spine, and then rotate through the rib cage. So keep the shoulders drawn away from the ears. So nice careful rotation. You can keep your hand on your hip, or you can lift your hand to the ceiling. Now if you find your arm out to the side, you'll best put it on your hip. But if you can reach your hand up, here we've got our bone alignment. Again, here we go, stacking our bones one on top of each other. So that should be quite comfortable holding that arm up. Okay, lower the hand down, we're changing sides. So hold the outer edge of the other leg and then pull the tummy, navel to spine, rotate through your rib cage, hand on hip, look sideways, or bring the hand up to the ceiling, and again, try to look for that position whereby your bones can stack. Take 3 breaths here. And then lower yourself back down. We're placing hands on shins. Breathe in, breathe out. Tighten the tummy, slide the hands up the legs. Give the buttocks a little squeeze, a little tail tilt forward, and then roll the shoulders back and draw them downwards. Okay, give yourselves a shake, and we're going to do 2 rounds of sun salute just to warm ourselves up. Feet together. Keep a little space between your feet so your bones are not touching. Lift toes up, spread them out. Now we're going to do a little tummy tuck, so tighten the tummy, just that 10%. A little squeeze in the bottom of the buttocks so your hips will come forward a little as they straighten up, and thighs are nice and firm. Shoulders to ears, roll them back and draw them downwards. Keep the rib cage flat, chest lifted. So now our spine should be up lovely and tall. And then just tuck your chin in slightly, so a little chin slightly dropped and pushed in. Don't jam your chin back. Now you should, when you do this, you should find that your neck will lengthen. You can feel a little bit of length in the back of the neck. So now we're stacking up our spine beautifully. Stretch your fingers out, reach them down to the floor so you can just draw your shoulders down a little bit more. Let's take 3 breaths here. Make sure your chin is parallel to the floor. Eyes open or closed. Deep breath in, sun salute. Reach up to the sky, gaze between your palms, and breathe out, forward fold. Chin to chest, flat back, hands on shins, lengthen through the spine, soft knees, weight forward in the feet. Breathe out, forward fold, chest to thighs. Okay, step back into plank. Now I want you to line up your wrist with your shoulders, so just rock yourself forward and back till you can find that point where you're beautifully stacked with the bones in the arms. Now tighten your tummy, give your bottom of your buttocks a little squeeze so the bottom of the hips comes slightly forward as ever such a small movement, and slide shoulders to hips, looking in front of your fingertips. So you should have a nice straight line from the top of your head right down to the ankles. Take 3 breaths. If you need to pop yourself down on your knees, that's fine. Let's breathe in, breathe out. Plank to floor or knees and chest down. Breathe in, cobra. Now push through the heels of the hands. Slide your shoulders to hips as you lift yourself up. Now, firm tummy, little squeeze in the bottom part of the buttocks, shoulders down. You can lift your chin a little. We don't want to drop our head right back, but a little chin lift is quite nice to lengthen through the neck. Okay, tuck the toes under, lift the hips up nice and high, back into down dog. Just make yourself comfortable in this position, and then we're going to crouch, look between our thumbs, and step the right foot forward, left foot forward. Chest to thighs in our forward fold position, chin to chest, flat back. Hands on shins, toes, or just in front of the feet, and forward fold. Breathe in, sun salute, lift up. And breathe out, hands to sides, and back to chest. Deep breath in and out. Sun salute, breathe in, bring the hands over the head. Now I want you to squeeze the bottom of your buttocks, push your hips forward, and keep lengthened through the spine and the arms, and just lean back. And let's bring the thumbs down the body line, following the center of the chest down to the floor. Forward fold, flat back. Breathe in, breathe out, forward fold. This time step your left foot back, right foot back into plank. Breathe in, breathe out, plank to floor. Breathe in, cobra, and breathe out, down dog. Now let's crouch, look between our thumbs, and step the left foot, then the right foot forward. Forward fold, flat back, forward fold. Deep breath in, sun salute. Lift the palms up, and again we're going to squeeze the buttocks, push the hips forward, a gentle back bend, and then bring the thumbs down to the centre of the chest, back to our start position. Breathe in and out. Okay, so now we're going to do our modified sun salute. So let's breathe in, sun salute, and breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, flat back, breathe out, forward fold, and let's step our right foot back and lower the back knee down, flatten the top of the foot. Now make sure your heel and your knee are hip width apart, and we're going to sweep our arms back, lift them up, roll shoulders back and down, low lunge, wide prayer or crescent. Now you can bring your palms together if it's comfortable, gaze between your palms. Try not to drop your head back any further than where your palms are. Now if you can move your arms back a little further, you're welcome to do so. It will just depend on your shoulder flexibility. Take 3 breaths into the belly. Now let's breathe in, breathe out. Right elbow on knee, palm up, close it into a fist and take your other hand on your hip. Now I want you to draw your shoulders down and lengthen through the spine. So pull your tummy in, shoulders down. That's it, beautiful. So we need to lengthen through the spine. Make sure you're not sinking through your shoulder because we're aligning our bones again. So we need to lift up and then make sure that we're just resting comfortably and evenly and using our whole body rather than trying to rest too heavily on the knee. If you want to go to level 2, elbow outside the knee, prayer twist. Now pull the tummy in and rotate a little bit more if you can. So we're looking for most of the twisting through the rib cage. Okay, beautiful. We're going to release our elbow, bring our hands down to the floor, tuck the back toe under and lift the knee. Now we're in a high lunge position, so make sure your feet are hip width apart and then sweep your arms back, lift up, roll the shoulders back and down. You can place your palms together, breathe into the belly. Gaze up if you're feeling as if you can manage the balance. If you're not balancing so well, just look forward. Let's breathe in, breathe out, elbow to knee, palm up, hand on hip. So again, we're sliding the shoulders away from the ears, resting lightly with our elbow, pushing through the back heel but not locking our back knee. Level 2, we can slide the elbow outside the knee, come back to the prayer twist position. And then you can come to a wide arm position. Now if your hand does go to the floor, just make sure your elbow pushes into the knee and the knee into the elbow. And then sweep your arm back, circle it back down, hands on either side of your foot, front foot back goes into down dog. Let's just move our body from side to side, just loosening up a little bit. Then we're going to step our feet together and lift the right leg up. 3-leg dog, bring chest towards the thighs, make sure your hips are straight. Then lunge your foot between your hands, step your back foot next to the front foot, chest to thighs. Breathe in, sun salute, lift up. And breathe out, hands back down to sides, back to chest in prayer. Deep breath in and out. Let's do that again. Sun salute. And swan dive, forward fold. Flat back. Forward fold. This time stepping back, our left foot, knee down. Flatten the top of the foot. If you can, you'll sweep your arms back, lifting up, roll the shoulders back and draw them downwards. If you can, bring your palms together in prayer. Gaze up between the palms if your neck is comfortable. Breathe down to the belly. Breathe in, Breathe out, left elbow on knee, palm up, close it into a fist, and circle your arm back to your hip. Shoulders draw down, spine lengthens, navel draws inwards. Now, if you want to, you can go and twist it a little bit more by sliding your elbow outside the knee, hands to chest in prayer. Okay, release. Hands on the other side of your front foot, tuck the back toe under, knee lifts. Make sure, have a look to see if your foot, 2 feet or a hip width apart, and swing your arms back, lift up, roll shoulders back and down. Again, you can bring your palms together, look between your palms. Make sure your front knee is above your ankle, and that will get your bone in the right position to make sure you can stay in this position a little bit longer. Working muscles quite strongly. We're going to breathe in, breathe out, elbow to knee. We've got the twist again, and circle your hand back to your hip. Shoulders down, lengthen through the spine. And then level 2, elbow outside the knee, hands to chest in prayer. And then level 3, hand to floor, other hand to ceiling. So when you're pushing your elbow into your knee and knee into your elbow or your arm, you can get a little bit more rotation through the torso, so you can stack the bones of your arm on top of your shoulder. That should be quite comfortable. Then circle your arm back, place the hands on the floor, front foot back, down dog. Let's pause in that position just for a moment. Step the feet together, lift the left leg up, 3-leg dog. Make sure your hips don't rotate. And then lunge the foot between your hands, feet together, forward fold, let the head drop, flat back. And breathe out, forward fold. Breathe in, sun salute. Let's reach up. And breathe out, hands to sides, and back to chest in prayer. Deep breath in and out. Okay, so I'm going to turn and face the front again, and we've got 2 balances. The first one is a forward wind pose. So let's roll our right foot forward, tighten the tummy, draw your navel in, keep your chest lifted, and lift your knee up. Hands behind the thigh, and let's flex the foot so we've got a nice active calf and ankle, as well as shin. Okay, so from here, if you can, you're going to reach to the bottom of your feet. So you need to bring your knee a bit closer to your chest. And then we're going to take the index finger and middle finger around the big toe, or just hold the foot. And extend your leg forward. Take your hand out to the side. Let's lower the shoulders down. Tummy draws in. And keep your arm a little lower than your shoulder so you're not using your neck muscles. The leg only needs to be hip height. Make sure the shoulders are both down. And the leg extended as much as you can. Okay, let's bring that knee back in. Float the hands down. Beautiful. And take a walk with the feet. Let's try that on the other side. So roll your left foot forward. Tighten the tummy, draw it in. Lift the knee up, the strength of your waist. Keeping the hips quite even. Hands for under the leg. Flex your foot. If you can, bring that foot closer, or your knee closer to your chest, and take your fingers, hold the big toe and extend the leg. The other arm goes out to the side. Shoulders draw down, spine grows tall. Just extend the leg as much as you're able. Focus on your breathing down to your belly. And then bend your knee and float your foot down and your arms back to sides. Take a little walk to ease out any tension through the feet. And we're going to do our pigeon balance. So let's roll the right foot forward. Now draw the tummy in, just bend a little bit into the left knee. And then we're going to cross the leg over. Now level 1, your toes go on the floor if you're feeling wobbly today. Otherwise, ankle on the knee, toes forward, flex that foot. Take a deep breath in and breathe out. Pull the tummy in, keep the spine nice and long. Push the hips back like you're going into a squat. So push your hips right back and you might be able to continue floating down. I want you to try not to round your back too much. So just as much as you can, keep that spine lengthened. Now if you can't go the whole way, it doesn't matter, just do what you're able to do. For those who've been doing yoga a little while, you can then place your hands on the floor, lift the hips up, chin to chest, look past your knee to behind the room, the back of the room. Let's take 3 breaths into the back, and then start to bend your knee, and bring your hands back to prayer and rest your forearms on your shin. Now we're going to slowly bring ourselves up nice and tall, so breathing in, flick your leg forward, lift your arms up, and let's circle the arms back to the sides. Take a walk with your feet, and let's try that on the other side. So, navel draws in, roll your left foot forward, soften your right knee. Cross that leg over the other. If you picked a gentler position with the foot on the floor, go back to that one. Otherwise, ankle to knee, lift the arms above the head, breathe in, breathe out. Pull the tummy in, push the hips back as far as you can. Really get a good stretch around the buttocks. Then if you can, continue just to float your forearms down to your shin. And if you want to join me with the hands on the floor, lift your hips up, look behind you. Okay, start to bend your knee, lift your hands up back to prayer, shins on, or forearms on shins, and then breathe in, lifting up, reach the arms up, kick the leg forward, and float your hands down. Nice work. How did you go? Okay, we're going to do a little bit more modified sun salute. So I'm going to turn sideways again so you can see me a little more easily. Okay, mountain pose, lift the chest, tummy in. Let's lengthen through the spine and get our spine all nice and balanced. Take a deep breath in, sun salute, reach up and then breathe out, chair pose. So push your hips back, draw the tummy in, bring the hands down to chest. Continue bringing the chest to the thighs, hands to floor. Chin to chest, forward fold, flat back lengthen. Breathe out, forward fold. And then step back, a right foot, lunge it back and lower the heel down. So your heel should be lined up. We've got a warrior 2. So let's lift the arm up and over, warrior 2. Shoulders down. Now I want you to make sure your hips and your chest are facing sideways. Shoulders are down. Arms slightly lower than shoulders, so we're not using neck muscles, we're going to use the back and the chest. Gaze over your front middle finger. Check your front knee is in line with your ankle, so there we go with our stacking our bones and aligning the body. Pushing the knee out to the side. Have the buttocks a little bit firm, tummy firm. Beautiful. Breathe here into the rib cage, down to the belly if you can. Now rotate the palm. Lift the hand up, shoulders soften down. You can look forward or gaze at your palm. Breathe into the belly. Now bring your arms back to the T position. We've got a triangle, palms face down, straighten your front leg. Now I want you to give your buttocks a little squeeze, tighten your tummy, bottom of the hips come slightly forward. So we're nice and strong in the hips. We're going to breathe in, push the hips back, reach the arm forward. The inner thigh of the front leg should be stretching now. Reach forward as far as you can, then just windmill your arms into position. Now keep the tummy firm and the buttocks a little bit squeezed, hips slightly forward. Let's take 3 breaths here. Now try to stack your top arm on top of your shoulder. So try not to have the arm going backwards, but just stack it up, just like we did at the beginning when we experimented with our bone stacking. So here we are with making sure we've stacked all of our bones up. Okay, breathe in. I want you to reach up with your fingers and the side of your body to lift you up. Sweep your back arm forward. Breathe in and breathe out. Hands down to floor, front foot back, down dog. All right, this time we're going to step our feet together, lift our right leg up, three-leg dog, and then bend the knee, coming into scorpion. Rotate the hip up to ceiling, look under your arm. And then lunge that foot between the hands. Step the back foot next to front foot. Forward fold. Flat back. And forward fold. Let's breathe in, sun salute. Lifting up nice and high, squeeze the buttocks, push hips forward. And breathe out, bring your hands back down to chest. Deep breath in and out. Let's do that again, sun salute. And swan dive, forward fold. Chest to thighs, relax right down. Flat back, lengthen. Breathe out, forward fold. Step back, left foot, lower the heel down. See that the heels are lined up, have a look. And then lift your left arm up and circle it over into a warrior two position. So again, adjust your arms slightly lower than shoulders. Tuck your tummy in, little squeezing the buttocks, hips forward. Get the stretch on the inner thighs. This is our warrior two position. Turn your gaze over your front middle finger. Check your front knees pushed out a little. You want to make sure the knee and the ankle are lined up. Make sure you can feel both feet pressing firmly into the mat. Now rotate your palm, lift your hand up and lower your back hand down. Shoulders relaxed, gaze at your palm, just look forward, always checking in with the neck that it's quite comfortable. Now straighten your arms up, straighten your front leg. We've got our triangle, so let's tighten the tummy, squeeze into the bottom part of the buttocks, hips come slightly forward, bottom of the hips forward, and then stretch forward, push your hips back, feel the inner thigh stretching. At this point you should feel a big stretch in the front leg, inner thigh, and back of leg. Windmilling arms into the T position, shoulders down, tummy in. Beautiful. So how about the top arm? Is it stacked nicely on top of the shoulder? Now, the bottom hand can be on your shin or anywhere. You can be up higher, it doesn't matter. You're looking for the stretch in the top side of the rib cage and the hip. Now we're going to reach up to the ceiling. Breathe in, reach up. Bring your arms to a T position, palms forward, rotate your feet. So now your feet are parallel. I'm going to do flat back now, so breathe in, lift the chest, drop the shoulder blades down, just gaze up a little and breathe out, bending forward. And your shoulder blades should be down and hugging together. Let's come about halfway or a little bit less if you need to. I want you to soften your knees now, give them a little shake, keep the weight through the front of the feet. So if you soften your knees, you can easily move the body weight forwards. Chin slightly tucked in, lengthen through the back of the neck. And if your arms are too heavy, hands on hips. Let's pause for a moment. We're really strengthening our back here. Lovely. Okay, lower hands to the floor. And then rotate your fingers to point under you. And then walk your hands under your legs if you can. Try not to bend your knees too much. Chin to chest, gaze under your legs. Move your body weight forward into the front of the foot, so out of the heels. If you can place your head on the floor, feel free to do that. So we're stretching around the shoulder blades and in the backs of legs. Breathe into your back. Okay, let's walk the hands under the chest and just lengthen through the arms, shoulders towards hips, gazing at the floor. So a nice stretch out. And then let's take the hands on the outer edge of the ankles and look between the legs again. So nice big stretch, move the body weight into the front of the feet again. If you can, bend your elbows, slide shoulders to hips. Tighten your tummy to help keep the shoulders lifted. And let's take another few breaths in this position. You can hold your big toes if you want to. Okay, let's release and walk the hands around to the front foot. Pivot your foot around. Front foot back into plank. Breathe in, breathe out, plank to floor. Breathe in, cobra. And breathe out, down dog. Okay, let's step our feet together now. Lift the left leg up, three-leg dog, and then bend the knee, rotate the hip, look under your arm. Big breath into the side of the body and lunge your foot between your hands. Step the back foot next to front foot. Forward fold. And flat back. Forward fold. Big breath in, sun salute. Let's reach up nice and high. Squeeze your buttocks, hips forward and breathe out. Thumbs come back down to heart center. Deep breath in and out. Now we're going to turn and face you, and we're going to come down to the floor just quite easily. So let's take the right foot behind the left and take a seat. Otherwise, just sit down with me. Lovely, we're going to extend those legs forward, so hopefully you can see me quite easily. Bring your toes towards you. We're going to do a twist first of all, so bend the knee and place the foot over the other side of the leg, the opposite leg. So you can stay in this position. This is a very good position for knees. So if you have any knee things, you might like to keep your leg extended. Otherwise, join me by bringing your leg around, lifting the hips up. Make sure you're sitting evenly on your sit bones as much as possible. And then we're going to wrap that arm around the knee. The other arm goes behind the back. Place your fingers on the floor or your knuckle or hand. Then breathe in, lift up the rib cage and breathe out, twist. Look in front of your shoulder. Breathe around your rib cage. Now if you can, take the hand that's on the floor behind you and wrap it around your back. So you need to use a little bit more back muscles to hold you up and a nice firm waist. If you can do a full bind, then reach your hand between your legs and the arm around your back, and you may be able to reach your fingers. If you can't, just have a go anyway. And let's release. Straighten the bottom leg again, and then bring your foot to your thigh. Beautiful. Make sure you lift up, sit down, lean a little bit forward so we can get right onto the sit bones. Make sure your other foot is, toes are pointing up to the ceiling. Don't have your foot out to the side. Big breath in, reach up, palms forward, breathe out, and just let your hands come down. You don't need to hold your foot. And you can bend your knee a little bit and bring yourself a little closer towards your leg. So chin to chest. For the stretchy people, you might find that you can hold your foot, but make sure your elbows are down, your shoulders are relaxed and away from your ears. Okay, let's take a walk on the leg with our hands, and we're going to change sides. So extend the other leg forward. Give your legs a little shake, and then take that left foot over. Staying in this position for our level 1 legs, or sweep your leg around, lift the hips up, sit down nice and comfortably on the sit bones, and wrap the arm around the knee. Let's breathe in, lift up tall, breathe out, bring the other arm behind the back, and turn your head to gaze. So we're looking in front of our shoulder. Wrap your arm around your back, get your spine tall, shoulders down. And if you can, try a bind, where you're linking your hands underneath your front leg. And release. Okay, beautiful. So extend your leg forward, give your legs a little shake. Now I'm going to turn sideways again. Bring my hands behind my knees, breathe in, lifting up nice and tall, and breathe out. Pull the tummy in, round the back out, and walk the hands down the backs of the legs into a lying position. Now let's walk the feet to the end position, so heels are directly under knees and in line with the hips. Arms by sides, we're going to roll up into a wrap. So breathe into the belly, breathe out, navel to spine. Tilt the bottom of the hips forward, then peel your vertebrae off the floor. Resting on shoulders, lift the head up and lower it down. Make sure the back of the neck doesn't feel squeezed up. And then we're going to give the butt an extra little squeeze, lift the hips a tiny bit higher. And if you can, bring your hands under your back. Now, this is the shoulder bridge. Otherwise, we're going to the neck bridge by going up onto your shoulders, a little bit stronger in the neck. Chin has to come closer to chest. The little fingers should touch the floor, and we can feel a stretch in the front of the shoulders. So lift the hips just a little bit higher. Take 3 breaths into the belly. And then release your hands. Place them by your sides, and let's roll down 1 vertebrae at a time. So draw your navel to your spine as you roll down. And this will help bring the bottom of the hips forward so we can get a good stretch in the lower back as we bring it down. Okay, knees to chest, just 1 at a time. Let's draw those knees down to the chest, lift the hips a bit higher and lengthen through that lower spine. Place the lower back down. Now let's lift the legs up to the ceiling, hands behind knees. Draw the knees wider than hips. We've got a happy baby. So level 2 hands is hold your ankles. Level 3, you can hold inside or outside your foot. Relax your shoulders. Make sure they're drawn away from the ears, the tummy's firm, and the lower back is on the floor. Let's rock from side to side. Okay, let's bring the soles of the feet together. Hold your ankles if you can, or anywhere along your legs. Draw the knees away from your chest. Then lower your feet to the floor in butterfly pose. If this is uncomfortable, put your feet on the outer edge of the mat and drop your knees inwards. Now, let's press the elbows in the floor, lift the shoulder blades up, flatten them down and keep the chest nice and open. Left hand on heart center, right hand on belly. Lift your head up, tuck the chin in, lengthen through the back of the neck. Let's just pause for a moment and take a few breaths right down to where our hand is. When you're ready, extend your legs into a nice relaxation position. Drop your feet outwards, make sure you give your legs a little shake so your hips relax. And then either leave your hands on your heart center and belly or just bring them by your sides. Palms up means you can keep those shoulder blades lovely and flat on the floor. can stay in this relaxation position, perhaps turn off the video and pause for 5, 10 or 20 minutes. And then you can turn the video back on and join me to finish. Otherwise, just finish with me now. Moving your fingers and your toes, breathing down to your belly. And then walk your feet up to the end position and roll to your side. Lift yourself up to a seated position. Let's check our body alignment, our bones. So let's lift the hips up, sit on the sit bones, chest lifted, shoulders down. Tummy just drawn in a little, and just drop your chin down a little towards your collarbones. Make sure there's no tension in the back of the neck. And lower your hands to the floor and lift the arms up above your head in prayer. And breathe out, bring your thumbs down to heart center. Let's take 3 breaths to energize our body. Breathe into your belly, bring the breath up to the rib cage, up into collarbones, into your back, and let the breath go slowly. Let's breathe into the belly, ribs, shoulders and back, and breathe out. Take one more big breath. And have a peaceful heart and a peaceful mind and a wonderful day. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today, and if you enjoyed this video, press like and subscribe now. Make a comment if you have time. Otherwise, come and join me again next week. Enjoy the rest of your day.